What is up, and welcome back to another Humm Baby Baseball ranking, and today we're talking about the greatest center fielders to ever play the game. And this position is oftentimes reserved for one of the team's better players. A center fielder is essentially the captain of the outfield, and the position requires leadership skills and an advanced baseball IQ. Additionally, exceptional speed and range are needed to cover the largest area of the outfield, and a strong arm is also helpful. These qualities oftentimes result in an incredibly strong and athletic player who can also handle a bat. And on today's list, we'll be talking about some of the greatest hitters to ever live. So get ready for a ton of Hall of Famers, all-time legends, and absolute generational talents. But there's also going to be quite a few Hall of Fame snubs on this list, as for some reason the writers who vote for potential Hall of Famers hate center fielders. If someone obvious is missing, there's a possibility that that player played even more games at another position. For example, Andre Dawson played over 1,000 games in center field, but played even more in right field, so I put him in that video. And I'm also not putting active players, so someone like Mike Trout, who is obviously going to retire as a top 15 center fielder, is not going to be on the list just yet. And the other possibility is I screwed up and left someone off, so let me know in the comment section who else you'd put on the list, but I'll do my best to make a solid top 15. But first, a few honorable mentions. Jimmy Wynn. The toy cannon is one of the most underrated players in MLB history, and he barely missed out on the top 15. He was just 5'9", but boasted enormous power and had an extremely strong arm. He crushed at least 20 home runs in 8 separate seasons and made 3 All-Star teams, but deserved to make a ton more. For example, in 1969, he wasn't an All-Star, but led the league with 148 walks, smashed 33 home runs, stole 23 bases, and had a 7.1 WAR, just one below Willie McCovey, the MVP winner. Earl Averill, one of the great forgotten center fielders. Averill hit the ground running his rookie season of 1929, hitting .332 with 18 bombs, and he only got better from there, averaging 23 home runs a season for 9 straight seasons. 3 times he hit over 30 bombs while consistently hitting over 300. He played in 6 straight All-Star games, the first 6 to ever exist, and finished in the top 5 for MVP 3 times. In the late 30s, injuries derailed his career, but Averill was still good enough to make the Hall of Fame, although it took 34 years after his retirement. But the Veterans Committee finally elected him. Johnny Damon. Damon was never the biggest superstar in the game, but he helped his teams win year after year. He combined speed, contact hitting, and some pop while staying on the field. For 16 straight seasons, he never played in less than 141 games in a single season. Damon stole 408 bases, including a league-leading 48 in 2000, hit over 305 times, walked over 1,000 times, and collected 2,769 hits, falling not too far short of 3,000. He was also a clutch hitter in the postseason and helped the Red Sox and Yankees win World Series titles. Willie Davis. Dodgers fans who are around in the 60s and 70s will never forget the impact of Willie Davis, who could pretty much do it all. He had exceptional speed, strong defensive abilities, and a solid bat with some power. He played in 18 seasons, accumulating 2,561 hits, 398 steals, and over 1,000 runs scored. Davis even crushed 182 home runs, including 21 in 1962. He won 3 Gold Gloves and played center field for 2 World Series championship Dodger teams. Despite his amazing career, Davis was snubbed not only for the Hall of Fame, but for the voting process itself. He was shockingly never even put on a ballot.
What?
Max Carey. During the 1910s, longtime Pittsburgh Pirate Max Carey was the premier base-stealing threat in the National League. He led the league in steals 10 times, consistently nabbing from 40 to 60-plus bases per season. He was a very good hitter as well, but after an alteration to his batting stance in the mid-20s, he suddenly became elite, hitting .343 in 1925. He was the best hitter for the Pirates in the World Series that year, and in the deciding game, had 4 hits, including 3 doubles against Walter Johnson. He is still in the top 10 all-time with 738 career stolen bases. Oscar Charleston, an absolute legend of the Negro Leagues, Oscar Charleston would have easily made the top 15, maybe even top 10, had he been allowed to play in the major leagues. But since it's impossible to know exactly where he would have ended up, I have him as an extremely honorable mention. According to Buck O'Neil, Charleston was like Ty Cobb, Babe Ruth, and Tris Speaker rolled into one. During the 20s, he regularly hit over 400 with insane batting averages of .433 in 1921 and .427 in 25. He also hit for massive power during a time when home runs were not the norm. He led the league in homers 5 times, including 20 bombs in 1925. And that was in the much shorter Negro League schedule. Charleston could also fly, regularly stealing at least 20 bases per season. He was elite in everything he did on a baseball field and even went on to become a great manager. He passed away in 1954 and was elected into the Hall of Fame in 1976. Now let's get into the top 15. Number 15, Larry Doby. 3 months after Jackie Robinson's debut, center fielder Larry Doby broke the color barrier in the American League. He hit .301 with 14 home runs his rookie season of 1948, then followed it up with 24 home runs in 1949 in his first All-Star nod. Doby hit at least 20 homers in 8 straight seasons, including a league-leading 32 in 1952 and again in '54. He made 7 consecutive All-Star teams and finished second for the MVP in 1954, a year in which he led the league with 126 RBIs. He was a key member of the most recent Cleveland team to win a World Series in 1948, and he hit .318 with a home run in the Fall Classic. Doby had a fantastic eye as well, working plenty of walks, retiring with a .389 on-base percentage. He was voted into the Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee in 1998. Number 14, Dale Murphy. Dale Murphy led all of Major League Baseball in home runs and RBIs during the entire decade of the 80s. Somehow he is still on the outside of Cooperstown looking in. Murphy was drafted 5th overall by the Braves in 1974 out of high school, and it took a few years to get established in the big leagues, but when he did, there was nobody better. He made his first All-Star team in 1980, and by 1982, he was a superstar. Murphy hit 36 home runs in back-to-back seasons, won the MVP and Silver Slugger both years while leading the league in RBIs. From 1982 to 1987, he almost never missed a game, won 5 straight Gold Gloves, 4 straight Silver Sluggers, and was absolutely an elite talent in the game. Knee issues plagued his career by the 90s, and Murphy's production declined quickly, explaining his absence from Cooperstown. But he was great for almost a decade, making 7 total All-Star teams, and at his peak, he was one of the greatest all-around center fielders to ever play the game. Number 13, Jim Edmonds. Next up is Jim Edmonds, another Hall of Fame snub, and he was elite with both the glove and the bat. He somehow got bumped off the ballot after 1 year. A human highlight reel in center field, Edmonds won 8 Gold Gloves, but he was also a serious hitter, finishing his career just 7 home runs shy of 400. For his first 6 seasons in St. Louis, he averaged 35 homers a year. He helped the Cardinals win the World Series in 2006 and hit 13 career postseason home runs. Edmonds was also a patient hitter, working a lot of walks, retiring with an on-base percentage of .376 and an OPS over 900. His WAR of 60.4 is tied with the great Harmon Killebrew, and it's higher than the 3 previous center fielders on today's list, and is also higher than Hall of Famers like Yogi Berra, Mike Piazza, and Willie Stargell. Number 12, Kirby Puckett. All-time Twins legend Kirby Puckett was an elite hitter and defender for over a decade, starting in 1984 when he finished 3rd for the Rookie of the Year award after hitting .296. He looked like a fantastic contact hitter with great speed and elite defense. Then he became more than just a singles hitter in 1986 when he crushed 31 home runs while bumping his batting average up to .328. He also stole at least 20 bags in back-to-back seasons. From 1986 to 1995, he was one of the premier talents of the game, and during that span, he never missed an All-Star game, winning 6 Gold Gloves, 6 Silver Sluggers, and finishing in the top 10 for the MVP 7 times. Puckett led the league in hits 4 times, and he even won a batting title with a .339 batting average in 1989. He was on his way to yet another elite season in 1996 when he was hitting .344 in spring training. Then he woke up one morning without vision in his right eye due to sudden severe glaucoma. Puckett was placed on the disabled list for the first time ever and was eventually forced to retire as his vision could not be restored. He was elected to the Hall of Fame in 2001, his first year on the ballot.
But I think that anybody who knows me, including my teammates, know that every time I put the uniform on, that I laugh and joke with the opposition, but when it was time to get it on, I got it on, and I gave it everything I had.
Number 11, Richie Ashburn. Patrolling center field for the Philadelphia Phillies during the decade of the 1950s was the great Richie Ashburn, who was known for his exceptional range and speed. He could track down fly balls no one else could reach while maintaining an elite fielding percentage throughout his career. His 5,803 career putouts ranks third among center fielders in MLB history. He also used that speed to steal 234 bases, including a league-leading 32 his rookie year. Ashburn could also handle the bat. He consistently turned singles into doubles and doubles into triples. He also hit 8 career inside the park home runs. He won 2 batting titles, one with an incredible .350 batting average in 1958. For his career, he hit .308 with 2,574 hits. The 6-time All-Star was elected to the Hall of Fame by the Veterans Committee in 1995. Number 10, Kenny Lofton. Entering into the top 10, we have a few of the biggest Hall of Fame snubs ever, and it starts with Kenny Lofton, who you might be surprised to see so high on the list. He didn't even get the 5% of the vote required to stay on the Hall of Fame ballot. But on the JAWS ranking for center fielders, which measures Hall of Fame worthiness, Lofton is 10th all-time and ranks above several Hall of Famers. He simply helped his teams win ball games by getting on base and wreaking havoc on the base paths while playing elite defense for 17 years. He led the league in stolen bases for 5 straight seasons, maxing out at 75 steals in 1996. And he could also hit with a .349 batting average in 1994, and he hit over 308 times. Even in his final MLB season in 2007, he hit .296 with 23 steals and a .367 on-base percentage. His career on-base percentage of .372 is better than George Brett and Paul Molitor. He stole 34 bases in the postseason as well. Lofton made 6 All-Star teams, won 4 Gold Gloves, had over 2,400 hits, and retired with a batting average of .299. And so yes, Kenny Lofton comes in as a top 10 all-time center fielder. Number 9, Carlos Beltran. Beltran has already made 3 Hall of Fame ballots and is 0 for 3 so far. He was a Rookie of the Year winner and an excellent defender and hitter who played for 20 years, accumulating 435 home runs and 2,725 hits. He was a 9-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, 2-time Silver Slugger, and drove in over 100 runs 8 times. Beltran was never the best at any one thing, but he did everything well, including base running earlier in his career, stealing over 40 bases twice. He hit at least 20 home runs 12 times, with a career-high 41 bombs in 2006. Beltran lost some votes due to his involvement in the 2017 Houston Astros cheating scandal, but he was a 40-year-old player at the time, in the last year of his career. So whatever cheating took place that year didn't change the fact that he did have a Hall of Fame career. So I'm hoping that he gets elected in 2026. But regardless, Carlos Beltran is definitely one of the greatest center fielders of all time. Number 8, Andruw Jones. And coming in at number 8 is a 10-time Gold Glover named Andruw Jones, an even bigger snub than Beltran and Lofton, in my opinion. He was a master in center field, consistently making amazing plays that seem to defy physics. Some advanced metrics suggest that he is the best defensive center fielder ever, but Jones was also elite with the bat, and he smashed over 430 home runs in his career, more than Cal Ripken Jr., more than Mike Piazza. He finished 5th for the Rookie of the Year in 1997, and by 2007, he had won his 10th Gold Glove Award and had averaged 33 bombs a year throughout the first decade of his career. Unfortunately, Jones struggled with injuries later in his career, stringing together 5 mediocre seasons to finish it off. And this hurt his Hall of Fame chances, as the voters are not the sharpest tools in the shed. But Andruw Jones had more defensive wins above replacement than any outfielder in the history of the game. And he was a premier power hitter for a decade. He finished 2nd for the MVP in 2005, leading the league with 51 home runs and 128 RBIs. For me, he easily ranks as a top 10 all-time center fielder. Number 7, Duke Snider. One of the biggest stars of the game during the mid-1950s was Duke Snider, who became the Dodgers' regular center fielder in 1949, a year in which he hit .292 with 23 homers. From there, he only improved and made his first All-Star team in 1950. He hit .321 that year and led the league with 199 hits, beginning a streak of 7 consecutive All-Star appearances. Snyder averaged 31 homers a year for 9 straight years. He led the league in homers in 56 with 43 bombs and led the league in runs for 3 straight seasons. He was also a top-notch defender, known for his ability to run, throw, and make sensational catches. He suffered a series of injuries in the late 50s and had knee surgery in 1957. After the move to LA in 58, Snyder never regained his prior form, although he made one more All-Star team with the Mets in 1963. He retired with a career .295 batting average, 407 home runs, and a .919 OPS. He likely would have won a few Gold Gloves as well, but the award did not begin until 1957, just after his prime. Snyder was elected to the Hall of Fame in 1980. Number 6, Joe DiMaggio. The Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio, made his big league debut in 1936 in the same lineup with Lou Gehrig. He set a rookie franchise record with 29 homers that season, a record that would not be touched until Aaron Judge came along in 2017. DiMaggio also made the All-Star team every single year of his career. He played in 13 seasons and made 13 All-Star teams. He won his first MVP in 1930 with a league-leading .381 batting average, and then won a second in 1941, a season in which his most famous achievement took place, an unbreakable 56-game hitting streak that stretched from May 15th to July 16th. Then, in the prime of his career, he missed 3 straight seasons due to World War II. He came back strong, though, and won a third MVP in 1947. DiMaggio also had 2 second-place finishes for the award. He was considered a strong fielder, though modern defensive metrics suggest he was above average but not elite. He did have a very strong and accurate arm, and his incredible bat made up for any defensive shortcomings anyway. DiMaggio retired with a .325 batting average, .977 OPS, 361 home runs, and 2,214 hits. If not for World War II, he would have easily hit around 450 home runs and surpassed 2,500 hits. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1955, but the writers unbelievably snubbed him on 2 ballots before finally electing Joltin' Joe. Number 5, Ken Griffey Jr. Now we move into the top 5, which include nothing but the best, and it starts with the kid, Ken Griffey Jr., who grew up around baseball as the son of 3-time All-Star Ken Griffey, who made his MLB debut when Jr. was just 3 years old. But by the time the kid was in high school, he was the biggest prospect in the country, displaying incredible skills both defensively and offensively. He was drafted first overall by the Mariners, destroyed the minor leagues, and made his big league debut at the age of 19. He was an immediate sensation. In 1990, his first full season, he hit .300, won a Gold Glove, and made his first of 13 All-Star teams. His dad was also still playing, and in one of the most amazing moments in MLB history, the pair hit back-to-back home runs for the M's.
Run trot, yes, yeah. 3-0 pitch is hit deep into left center field, and Bishop will look up, and father and son have hit back-to-back home runs.
Jr. was sensational in the field, but absolutely raked at the plate, and his power increased throughout the early 90s. He went from 22 homers to 27 and then to 45 in 1993. He was also a base-stealing threat in his early years, stealing at least 15 bases 8 times. In 1997, Griffey Jr.'s skill set reached its peak as he crushed 56 home runs with 147 RBIs, winning the MVP award. And he followed that season up with 56 more bombs. He ended up leading the league in home runs for 3 straight years while consistently playing elite defense and making highlight reels. Jr. ended up with 10 Gold Glove awards. He also played for the Reds and White Sox before returning to Seattle to finish off his amazing career, which included 630 home runs and 2,781 hits. He was voted into the Hall of Fame in 2016. Number 4, Tris Speaker. Coming up next is the Gray Eagle, a complete player who still holds many MLB records to this day. The great Tris Speaker, who played most of his career with Boston and Cleveland. He was one of the best fielders in the history of the game with blazing speed and freak athleticism. Speaker would play extremely shallow to defend against singles with the confidence that he could chase down fly balls over his head to prevent extra base hits. But as good as he was defensively, Speaker might have been even better with the bat, and he had a .345 career batting average. He was a doubles machine, leading the league in the category 8 times. and he also hit an incredible 222 career triples, maxing out at 22 in 1913. His speed was off the charts, and unsurprisingly, he also stole a ton of bases, 432 in total. He even led the league in home runs in 1912. For most of his career, there was no MVP award, but it did exist from 1911 to 1914, and he got votes every time, winning the award in 1912, a season in which he had a league-leading 464 on-base percentage. Speaker still holds the MLB record for career doubles, outfield assists, and unassisted double plays. He is 5th all-time with 3,514 hits and was inducted into the Hall of Fame as part of its second ceremony, the class of 1937. Number 3, Ty Cobb. One of the early legends of the game, Ty Cobb, aka the Georgia Peach, played 24 years in the major leagues, 22 with the Detroit Tigers, and set an insane 90 MLB records throughout his career. He still has more batting titles than any other player, and it all started in 1905 when he made his debut at just 18 years old. Jealous veterans subjected him to hazing, destroying his bats, tying knots in his clothing, while verbally abusing him. This only fueled the young star, who emerged as not only the best player on the Tigers, but as one of the premier players in the game. In 1907, he hit .350 with 119 RBIs and 212 hits, each a league best. And Cobb continued to put up numbers that no one could touch. He led the league in batting average in 12 out of 13 seasons, surpassing 400 multiple times while stealing bases at a ridiculous pace. He stole 53 one year, then 76, then 83, then 96 in 1915. He played the game all out every day with a fire never seen before. Cobb led the league in hits 8 times, triples 4 times, and doubles 3 times. On 4 separate occasions, Cobb reached first base, then stole second, then stole third, then stole home, another one of his many records. He regarded baseball as something like a war, and every single game for him felt like life or death. Casey Stengel said, "I never saw anyone like Ty Cobb. No one even close to him. He was the greatest all-time ball player. That guy was superhuman. Amazing." Cobb hit .366 for his career, a stunning number, and he also had an MLB record, 4,189 hits, a record that stood until Pete Rose came along. He was one of the first inaugural inductees into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Number 2, Mickey Mantle. Up next, we have the Commerce Comet, one of the greatest sluggers to ever walk the planet. Mickey Mantle was an incredibly talented switch hitter who caught the attention of Casey Stengel during Yankees spring training in 1951 when he crushed tape measure home runs from each side of the plate. He made the big league team but struggled his rookie year and was sent back to the minors. Mantle almost quit, but reconsidered after his father said, "I thought I raised a man. I see I raised a coward instead. You come back to Oklahoma and work the mines with me." Mantle stuck with baseball, made it back to the Yankees, and broke out in 1952 with a .311 batting average and a league-leading .924 OPS. He had unbelievable speed and explosiveness, although much of that declined after a severe right knee injury sustained in the '51 World Series. But even with the injury and a torn ACL, Mantle went on to have an incredible career, becoming a generational superstar. He won back-to-back MVPs in '56 and '57 with a triple crown in 1956. He hit .353 with 52 homers and 130 RBIs. He won a third MVP and a Gold Glove Award in 1962. Mantle also led the league in walks 5 times, retiring with a .421 on-base percentage. He made 20 All-Star teams, hit 536 career home runs, and batted .298, all during a career that was plagued with injuries. He helped the Yankees to win 7 World Series titles and hit 18 World Series homers. Mantle is an absolute legend and one of the greatest baseball players to ever live. He was inducted into Cooperstown in 1974. Number 1, Willie Mays. But coming in at number 1 is none other than the legendary Willie Mays, possibly the greatest all-around player in the history of the game. He won a Rookie of the Year in 1951, and by '54, he was the best player in baseball, despite missing nearly 2 full seasons due to military service. Mays hit .345 in 1954 with 41 home runs and took home his first MVP award. From there, Mays was elite year after year, hitting for average and power, playing incredible defense while stealing a ton of bases. He led the league in steals for 4 straight seasons, averaged over 35 homers a year for a decade, and led the league in multiple offensive categories year after year after year. In 1957, the Gold Glove Award was introduced, and Mays won it for 12 straight seasons. He won a second MVP in 1965 with 52 home runs, a .317 average, and 112 RBIs. Mays topped 100 RBIs 10 times and became the only player to ever hit 50 homers and 20 triples in the same season. He tied an MLB record with 4 home runs in a single game, made one of the most iconic catches in the history of the game in the 1954 World Series, and is the only player to ever reach 3,000 hits, 300 home runs, and 300 steals while hitting over 300. And he far exceeded some of those numbers with 660 career homers. He also had 3,293 hits and 339 steals. Although this list has some amazing legendary players, there was no one else but the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays, who I could put as the #1 greatest center fielder to ever play the game. But let me know your thoughts in that comment section down below. Who else would you add to the list? And what do you think about some of these guys not even getting 5% on the Hall of Fame ballot? Which gives me an idea for next week's video. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and we'll talk to y'all in the next one.